Welcome to the Period Besties Podcast with Stasha and Katie. Think about it as chatting with your best friends about all the TMI stuff you've never talked about before with two period coaches who've been helping hormones collectively for over 20 years now. I'm Stasha.
And I'm Katie, and we're pulling back the curtain on what it's like in the world of menstrual coaching. From puberty to menopause and everything in between, we're here to show you how period coaching can save the day. We'll share practical tips and information you can put to immediate use to improve your hormones and happiness.
We're removing the mystery, ending the taboo, and shining a light on just how powerful period coaching can be.
So whether you need period coaching or are considering becoming a period coach yourself, these episodes are going to help you. We'll share stories, coach live on air, and bring smart, savvy guests to share their wisdom too. Let's start today's episode.
Welcome to the Period Besties Podcast. Today, we are going to be talking to Raquel, who's a director of a short film, Our Flow. And it is gorgeous, beautiful, inspiring, just amazing. And I can't wait to share this interview with her as the creator and the director of it. It shows you how influential the arts can be on culture, on breaking taboos, on opening up conversations. And I'm just thrilled to have her with us today.
I love the short film. So if you haven't seen it yet, please watch it. It's so beautifully done. But what I really enjoyed about our conversation today was when she was sharing about working in film as the only woman on the crew and how she was having period pain and what her experience was with that. And even though her crew didn't necessarily understand what was going on, she normalized it with them. And then it sounded like a lot of them helped her out on the short film as well. So I feel like as a woman and as somebody who has children, she is just breaking these taboos and really sharing her experience, but doing it in such a beautiful, creative way. And who doesn't love art? I love art. And I loved hearing the process of creating this, and then being able to watch it just brings different emotions now.
Oh, so true. So if you are a how did they do that behind the scenes lover, you're definitely going to love this episode. If you want some juicy stories of what it's like being the only lady on a film set, you're going to get some good stuff out of this too. So stay tuned and enjoy this episode with our beautiful guest today.
Welcome back, Period Besties. We are super excited to have a film director with us today, Raquel, and we are so excited for her to share her story on creating this incredible short film called Our Flow. So welcome to the podcast today. So excited to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here to talk about this topic, this juicy topic.
Yes, it is a juicy topic. We like to start off each podcast by asking our guests, tell us who you are, what you do. And I know you do many things. So share all that with us today.
I am a mother as well. I love my job, which is in film. I'm a film director. I lean more towards commercial content, commercials, music videos. I've done also work on documentaries, and stories is my niche. I will say I love stories, and all the pieces that I create, I always look for the story. And I also like art. So I try to mix both worlds and say things in a more artistic way or more symbolic way. And of course, as a mother, I deal with everything that moms do every day. What else? I'm from Spain originally. I've been in the United States for many years. I live in New York, living in Miami now. We moved recently. So now we are located in Miami. And yeah, and together with my husband, we also have a creative shop agency that is called Wigs. So we create content as well. Yeah.
Amazing. That's so cool. Now, did I hear a rumor about an Emmy?
Yes, years ago. There are also few awards and a regional Emmy that I won together with the whole team for a TV show that we were creating about genealogy It was a documentary, a reality TV docu that it was about genealogy. And basically, it was about everyday individuals who were embarking on a journey to find out their past and everything that could possibly unveil mysteries and questions that need to be solved. And they travel the world, and I travel with them around the world.
That's cool.
I know. Like, next time you do that, let me know. I'll come.
You will be surprised. Sometimes I was crying more than the subjects behind camera. I know I could see it, but yeah, we all experience stories and things that it's true that when you dig into your past, it's incredible. It's a life-changing. I still keep in touch with pretty much everyone, and I see through their life journey, and it's pretty amazing how taking a journey like that and dig into the past can change your own life.
What was the name of the documentary?
It was a series, The Generations Project was.
Interesting.
I want to check that out.
So one of the questions that we wanted to ask you, seeing as the Flow short film came out, was, do you remember your first period?
I do.
Do you want to tell us the story?
Sure. It was actually, I used to do rhythmic gymnastics. So I think it happens pretty often that when you are doing sports and I went to nationals, so it was pretty intense, the hours of practicing and training. And so my period didn't come, I guess, at the usual time, around 13, 14. I was already 15. My period I was waiting for my period to come. And it was just before a competition that I was getting ready to go to the competition, and my period came. So it was not a good timing, to be honest. So I remember as a very stressful time, but at the same time, it was like, oh, finally. I wanted, because my mom was worried, but I may have to take you to the doctor or something is wrong. And so you never know. So yeah, it was another moment I wanted to have my period come for first time. But so it's stressful, fast, and yeah, and go forget about that and focus and try to make the ball to don't fall and catch everything and do a good routine. So yeah, it went well, but nobody knew.
I feel you. I was in a dance company, and so I also had a later period because I was in a ballet company and was very like thin and athletics and working out constantly. And so I wanted to get my period, but it was late considering the people around me. And then when it did come, it turned out to be horrifyingly painful, and that turned out to be a whole other journey. But yeah, same boat.
Yeah, the pain came later, but yes, it was very painful.
Yeah.
So curious, because you were a gymnast, were you getting it regularly eventually, or was it on and off? Because I know in the first few years it can be on and off anyways, but being a gymnast, I feel like so many gymnasts might get it and then years go by. So I'm just curious because you were a competitive gymnast.
Mm-hmm. In my case, it didn't happen for years, but it was very irregular. And yeah, it was like months, maybe 2 days, and that was it. So I thought that was the normal. So what other friends were like complaining about it, but like, you need to complain about it. But then it was irregular, but the worst for me was the pain. And it was not always. It was just maybe 1 month it was okay, but maybe the next month, the following month, it was excruciating, and to the point of fainting, like going to the floor, and it was bad. So that was, I think, the worst part of the period. It was not about the length of it or the amount of it. It was more the pain and then the unexpectancy. You never know. It may come, it may not come this month or not, but it was very irregular for sure.
Are you still dealing with pain with your period?
No, I must say that sometimes I do, but not to the same level, not even close. Right now, there are months that last month it was pretty okay. The normal, you're blown, like you feel heavier, and I guess the symptoms for sure. But there are months that I need to lay down in bed because it hurts more than, but again, not to the level that I used to. And when I'm just to give a more specific illustration, I was on a flight with my crew, all men, only women in the crew, yay. And we were on our way to Amsterdam. And in the flight, in the middle of the flight. I was like, oh, this is hurting. I need to go to the restroom. So I got up, went to the restroom. I barely made it. The pain increased in a very short time. And I opened the door and I fell. And so they were the flight attendants, and I told them, like, I cannot move. They were like, go to your, I can't move. And I told them what it was. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I needed, usually what it helped me was like to lay down on the floor, hopefully like cold floor. You can imagine how disgusting that was. I didn't care about the world. Just wanted to be on the floor, my feet up until that passed. Usually it was like about 30 minutes or so or more. It could last an hour. As soon as I was able to function, like to get up, I went back to the seat. The flight attendants understood. They were like, what can we do? It was a little bit of an uncomfortable situation that everyone knew. And the crew were like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? When we landed, we were like, okay, we need to talk. I need to explain because this, it was really bad. And it's hard. It was hard to explain something that no member of the crew experienced before. So, you know what it hurts? No, really. What it hurts. Believe me, it does. Yeah. That was embarrassing, painful. And then again, you don't know, is this normal? Is not normal? Should I go to the doctor or not? Or yeah, a lot of questions at that time.
How were your male crew members with it?
One was saying, you need to have babies. I heard that stops the pain. Another one is, what do we do? Because the thing is, if I used to travel all the time. We were together the whole time, like over the year, whether it's for Scout, and then we shot, and then I went back home to change, pack, and travel again. They were nice with me. They always were very nice, but they didn't understand what I was passing through. So sometimes they were like, oh, I was like, I will be back, and we are filming, and I have to like really run and come back, or I need to break. One time in one of those many trips, it was in a gas station. I was like, guys, if you don't mind, just wait in the car. I need like maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I'm sorry. And at the same time, you don't want to show that you cannot keep up. But sometimes my body was saying, this month is just not good. It just hurt so much. And again, I was ended on the floor. I had an internship, something not related with this film crew. On a first day of an internship, it was at CNN Atlanta. Great boss, Saad Abedin, his name, but we were walking. He was showing me everything around it. Beautiful. He gave me a juice with ice. Then I learned that maybe like the cold caused more pain. I don't know if it's true or not. It definitely got me. And so I ended I was like, I will be back. I saw a bathroom. I was like, okay, I need to get there. The same. I ended on the floor, could not move. He was waiting outside without knowing what was happening with me. And they were like, oh, there's an intern that went like to the bathroom, has not come out. Someone, and the women, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I know what this is. This is horrible. No, the evidence my first day. I need to get out. It was so embarrassing. I was like, just today. But he was nice about it. And then it passed. But it was just an embarrassing episode of dealing with the pain, with a painful period that month. Yeah.
It's amazing how the bathroom turns into such a sanctuary in those moments. I know I spent a lot of time on a lot of floors of a lot of bathrooms.
What I'm doing here with but women were nice and understanding, because as soon as you say it, that's the thing. They're like, oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think so many of our listeners can relate. I've definitely been on bathroom floors too. It's just, and I visualize when you're saying just the coldness of the floor, it really does something. It's incredible. It's healing, very healing, that cold bathroom floor. I can imagine that this experience, especially with the crew and traveling the world, was some sort of inspiration for your film. So we would love to hear, when did this idea really start? Was it when you were experiencing this with the crew? To walk us through what inspired you to make Our Flow.
Our Flow, the project of Our Flow is a result of frustration. It really is. I was many years ago now, gosh, I don't know, years ago, I was working in a production company, and I was having one of those months that I goes, it's painful. And I was having a conversation with a coworker, and I started telling her, like, you know what? Like, really, we are hiding our paths. We are like always hiding or talking about these things. And if I'm in pain, we don't say anything. And it's always, and I was sharing with her aloud like, why we don't talk about this. Why the guys always put that face like, oh, disgusting. Or it's like a taboo topic. Why this is still happening? And as I was saying that, she looked at me. I was like, you're a director. Why you don't do something about it? And that's true, I guess. That night I went home and I started writing. I didn't write this project. It was something completely different. I started writing an idea about a show, that I gave the show a name, and I started putting the structure together. I was very brave and sit everyone at the production company, my boss, and like a few more people on a table, and were like, here's my great idea. And as I was exposing the idea, the faces were like, all right, next. It was definitely not welcome, which it was okay. It was another proof of exactly the little interest about it. And I just eventually, after years, I left the company, and my boss said, don't worry. I asked him, like, can I take that idea, my dear idea, with me? And it's okay. Do I own it? He's like, yeah, we're not going to do anything with that. If you ever want to do something with that, go ahead. That went to the shelf. And then a year later, I think, or months later, coworker called me and said, hey, Raquel, remember that idea that you had about the period and that? I'm working now. He also left the company, went to another one. And he said, I have people that actually would love to hear your idea. And so I share it. We joined forces and we developed a series. We eventually, the company's versus, we joined forces. We even went to the company of Hello Sunshine, the Reese Witherspoon. They were interested, joined forces with them, and they were all we were all to present it to Netflix, Hulu, like all the channels, to see it was happening. And it was welcome in the meetings that we had. They were women. They were all very, very nice, welcoming. We need this. We love it. It was something very, very out of the box. I was not looking to create a show that was boring or a documentary saying like, how was the period? No, I actually wanted something entertaining. We thought that humor was a good way anyway, without giving any more information. But even though our meetings were fantastic and all the women in the meetings were welcoming, I observed that it just didn't pass that. It really we didn't go farther. And at that time, my friend that we were joining forces with, a man, I told him, I was like, the day that there are men in that meeting and there are happy faces, that day this show will happen. So that didn't go farther, has not gone farther. And our flow came out of that. I was like, I worked so much and so hard and for so long in this concept that I need to do something about it. If it's not with the support of a network, it will be with my own support. And if it's not a big piece, if it's a little piece, that's fine. But I still want to contribute to something that I care. And as I said before, I care about stories and I care about topics that are sometimes not hidden or uncomfortable. And I was like, let's do it. So yeah, I started putting together what creatively I could with the resources I had at the time. And thanks to fantastic people that also joined forces, we were able to create the piece of our flow. Just to make some notes, basically.
Oh, I love it. I think the part that I saw was on Instagram. So it was a clip of the thing. And as a dancer, first of all, I was like, oh my God, I'm super jealous. Like I would have given anything to have been able to be the person in that back in the day. But it was amazing and I loved it. And it's funny you say that because we've talked about doing some kind of menstrual related documentary, just like a day in the life, a day in the phase. Like we've been talking about it for years and years. What would that even look like? What would you do? How would it be? And there's so many ideas. There's so many different ways that you could do it, could share it, could present it. There's just so many different concepts behind it. It's disappointing that they didn't go through with the show. I would have loved to have seen that.
I don't lose that hope. Maybe one day that will go. There are a lot of circumstances in different, who knows, really. When we, directors, and we present ideas, there is so much that we can control. You present the best that you can, but then obviously there are many layers and many people until you get to the final round. So that's something that I would like, that's not under my control. Who knows? Maybe one day that will come reality, but for now we have our flow. And I see also that there are more people, as you are as well, that are trying to do their very best to talk about it and to open up, and that we can share. And I think talking about periods help us to learn about ourselves and understand more about our bodies and even our minds as well.
It'll definitely happen. It's just a matter of time and society and pushing it forward, especially now with what's going on in the United States and the political climate around women's bodily autonomy and those kinds of things, reproductive rights and that sort of thing. I feel like it's just going to push the arts to make a statement, because really the artists are the only ones that will have a voice in the culture as far as this is concerned. So I think the artists really will be the ones who will make the most noise and make the most impact and move it forward. And I do look forward to more and more artists taking that more mainstream as well. There are a lot of people independently doing things and seeing it get more and more mainstream, that little things that are starting to show up in TV shows now, like what is it, New Girl, where she was laying on the couch and she was like, my baby box is trying to kill me. And it was like, oh, at least somebody said something about a period on a major TV show for one.
No, it was incredible, because if anything, I'm very grateful for everything that I learned, because when you are working on an idea, you may have, an idea, but you need to develop it. You need to really be versed into what you want to convey, what is going to be. So it makes you first make a lot of research. And I realized how little I knew. And I probably still, but I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. And as I was digging in, I keep like opening a world that I was like, oh my goodness, why we're not, nobody told me this. For that, I'm very grateful, because I was able to even understand myself. As I said before, it really helped. It's because I lived it myself. I was like, oh, now I can know what I'm passing through a little bit more, even psychologically, or the fact that even if you had the period, we were talking about painful periods, not painful, but it depends, because our lives we're not going to always feel the same. We grow, we age, and our hormones are going to go all over the place. And so we need to learn, so that we don't think that we are crazy or like we are, I guess, unbalanced, and that there are resources and that we can manage whatever we are passing through, whether it's pain or like psychologically we feel down. And that's what I wanted to also illustrate through the 4 phases. I wanted to illustrate those phases, first of all, because I wanted to show through the video that is one dancer, is one person who is within the same environment, her routine, her house, the deli, the street. But repeating the same routine, doing 4 different phases of her menstruation changes. It changes completely how you feel with yourself, how you even act. And so just to convey that idea of, yes, this is still me, but I'm passing through different phases that I'm going to be expressing or feeling about myself in a different way. And so that's why I wanted to mix elements. Dancing is something that I absolutely love. And so being with music and dance, and then the visuals of conveying those 4 phases, I thought that I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, to work with also the dancer, with Marley, and talk about what she was passing through. Developing this project, we talk about periods. Yeah. When the other dancers that are at the end, and I also wanted to show them in a very different shapes and sizes, and like how they look. I was not looking for clones. I was looking for women, and didn't care about anything else. Like however they feel, however they look, however they want to express themselves, is great. And the choreography was made purposely in a way that is asynchronized, So everyone is different, and there are certain movements where you see them synchronizing, and those are the ones that, yes, we share common things, even though we are all different. And the day that we were shooting, we were asking, who is with the period today? And some of them like raise their hand. That was the conversation that we were having and understanding what we were doing. And they were like, yeah, I'm in. And I was, as I said at the beginning, I did that project thanks to people that were joining forces to make this happen. And so it's the process that I enjoy the most. The result is there, and I'm happy. You always, when you see it, I can see things, oh, could I do this? Could I do that? Or would this better? For sure. There are so many directions that we could go, but I'm glad that we did it, that is out there, and that it was through the collaboration. And I always welcome the opinions, and the process is what I enjoy the most.
I love that during the production, you were like, who's on their period? Just like normalizing the whole idea of your project and just having that conversation on that day too. And just sometimes I feel like maybe some of them, no one's ever asked them when they were doing a shoot. I'm sure not. So just to even normalize that conversation is so empowering and powerful. I love that you incorporated that, not just in what you created, but in the process. So that's awesome.
Yes, with the principal dancer as well, Marley. Our first conversation was not just about dancing and what the choreography is going to look like. It was about, how are you? How was your experience with the period? And then knowing that, how will you express it through dance? How can we convey this? Because at the end of the day, I wanted also to give her freedom of expression so that we could both, collaborate. The same happened with the musicians. The music has been composed just for this piece. And when I talk to them, being men, I worked with them before, so they are great. And they're like, yes, we are on board. We are going to create this. And at first I was, can we work together to create some music? They were the ones actually proposing the voice that you hear, like a little bit of a tone of a female voice. They said, Raquel, we are studying the music and we feel that we need to incorporate a female voice. And I was like, that would be fantastic. I would love to. And as you can see also, the music, it's the same. It loops, but it's adding different like layers that convey as well the tone of each phase so that we can transition from phase to phase. So as always, everyone says there's a little bit more behind the scenes that is just not, I don't know if people realize, but we definitely thought about or try to think about those kind of details.
Yeah. And we want to know about those details. One of the reasons that we wanted you to come on here and chat with us today was to get some of those behind the scenes things, because I do think that we absolutely think, oh, this is fantastic, but we don't realize what goes into it and how the process of doing it is. We'd love to know more about how the process was from you had the idea, but then how were you able to actually get it up and running? Did you get a producer? Did you have to do it yourself? Were you able to put it together yourself, and then distribution after the fact? Like, how did you get all of those pieces together?
Let me see where I start. Pre-production. idea. I put together a deck that it was more first for myself to see if I have the opportunity, what would I do? And I was determined to put my savings. I think, at least for me, when I have done projects that are passion projects, meaning they don't have a brand that is going to pay for it, there are pros and cons. You have the con that you don't have a budget, probably as big as you would like if a brand is sponsoring it. That's a con. You will have to analyze very well where you put your resources and how you bring the whole thing to life. And sometimes it means compromises, sometimes not. Pretty much every time. And including this time, I had a scene at the end. I had some also dialogue that I wanted to incorporate. I have some things that it was bigger, and I had to compromise and be, okay, what is realistic if I want this to get out? So yeah, I had to work on that part. I guess the pro of having your own project and being able to put your own resources is that you are able to dictate how you want it within the parameters that you can play with, but you are the one making the decision of how you want things to look like. So that was something that I was grateful for. I knew the pros and cons, and having experience, having done other pieces before within those circumstances, I thought that I could put it together, because I know people that at that time were very interested into the topic and wanted to jump on board. So once I put the deck together, it was easier to share it to my ideal DP, director of photography, that could, if he will agree, he will jump on board and he say, yes, Raquel, I would love to do it. I will put my camera, I put my savings. We knew another person that was fantastic as a producer and co-producer. And then I'm a believer. So then you hope that everything is going to align. If this needs to happen, I'm putting my very best. What else can I do? If it means to be, it's going to happen. So that's a little, the frosting is that on the cake is okay. We'll see if this actually becomes reality. But yeah, so pre-production was hard because you have to wear multiple hats. Yes, I was directing, but I also needed to, I envision my neighborhood. So that's my neighborhood. I envision Brooklyn. I envision a dancer, the one that Marley was perfect for what I was looking for. I wanted someone who expressed character, and I think she does it very well. I work with her, really like the crew. I guess the long story short, there were many people that were jumping on board because they wanted to contribute to the project without even, we pay everyone that we could. Others came voluntarily, and it was a combination of all of that. And we do, in the world of film and world with passion projects, we do that for other people. Like we help each other when it comes to passion projects that we will be sharing with other people. And you think, is this worth it? Yes. And that's what friends do. And so that's million thanks, even from here. Million thanks to everyone in the crew that contributed to our flow. And yeah, that's how it happened. And then we film it. The day we spent, it was a long day. It was a long day to make it all happen. But everything was within Brooklyn, within my neighborhood. So I had a neighbor, nothing to do with the film crew, that was helping me. Let's see if I can find a house. And he came out with a friend that they had a house that I really liked. So they were able to help me out and things like that. Just being creative. I think being creative, it's very important in these circumstances, is that you don't follow the normal, whatever that means, flow of when you're doing a project with the client and with the whole protocol. This is more like, all right, let's make it happen. When are we available? Let's set up a day, let's make a goal, and let's wear million hats. We edited. That's the part that it was the most painful in this specific project. The post-production part was excruciating just because of budget. Yeah. Just being clear, there are two big elements: whether you have good budget, you can do it in a short period of time, or whether you have a long time and you can wait because you don't have a lot of budget. So you have to be waiting for the windows that people are available. And that's what I had to do. My budget was small and we needed to make it happen. So I was patiently waiting for the editor that very kindly, he was contributing to it. And then, so opening windows, we had to change editors. And then, so it was a little bit of a long process. But again, everyone worked hard and we were able to get it out. And it happened right when we wanted, which was International Women's Day. So that's the day that we launched it. And I wanted to launch a social, and that's what I did. I wanted to share it through social and see what came out of that. I never really planned anything else of, I'm going to tie it with a brand, or I'm going to get money out of these. I didn't, maybe my bad. It could have been, I don't know. But as a director, I guess my mind is not wrapped into the business part, more of the creating part. And that's what I wanted to do. So I'm like, I'm going to create it. I'm going to put it out there. And whoever wants to pick it up, welcome to. Free, go, share it. That's all. Yeah.
I love that you launched it on International Women's Day. That's perfect. When you did launch it, like, what was the feedback? What were people sharing with you? Because it's so beautiful.
Most people were really happy with it. But I'm not going to say everyone was it, because that wouldn't be true. So most people was very welcoming. They were like, oh, it's about time. I have a friend said, I'm in tears finally. Probably because she heard me talking about it a million times. But anyway, she was like celebrating Yay, it's out there. No, I got messages that were very nice of women who I didn't even know, and they were like very grateful that a piece like this is out there. I also surprisingly had the opposite, even from women as well, females saying like, "Oh, the blood is too much on the screen," or "I don't know why the pink jacket is present." Things that it's when you put a piece out there, it's the conversation, and it's part of, I think, a project is to see it, to watch it, and there will be people that will like it, people that would not like it, and to me it's all welcome. It's the fact that you are watching it and talking about it. I'm grateful for that, and I always also welcome criticism, and I analyze it as well, and I think about it. There will be some that I will take and be like, oh, you know what, this could have been done in this way, or no, I did it as I wanted. It's fine. So yeah, it's not. I don't think any of my projects have been like absolutely untouchable. No, but I do defend my position. Yes, I think it is important to really defend your position when you are a director and make decisions, because otherwise you just don't walk forward. You go like sideways and it gets deviated, nothing gets done, and then at the end of the day it's like a chaos. And so to me, like, all right, we all have different opinions, we can take this, that, if it contributes for a better to elevate the project. If not, thank you, put it aside, we need to keep walking. So yeah, there were, I think, to be honest, in proportion, I think I got one person that was sharing those messages that I just shared, that criticism, which I was welcoming and being grateful for it. And I was also grateful because even if you don't like it, or you don't like, there are parts that you don't, it also takes courage to share it. So in a polite way. So I was grateful for that communication. And yeah, but most of the feedback was positive. So I'm really happy, including your feedback. You contacted me, so I was very happy. Thank you.
No, it was so beautiful. Like when Hillary sent it to me, I was just like, what is this? Hillary's our mutual friend. And I was like, this is so beautiful. I have never seen anything like this captured. Sharing the phases and the emotions and the music. And it was just so beautifully shot. I was like, everyone needs to see this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's funny you say that about the blood being like too much or anything, because it's something that comes up often with our work, where there's a great meme where it's like a guy watching a bloody show with somebody's being beheaded and blood is going everywhere. And then it cuts to a tampon commercial and he's like averting his eyes. But like even the color red, right? So my website has red on it. My brand colors are red and blue. And I remember early on somebody messaging me and going, I feel like the red's a little much. And I was like, it's just the color red. And she was like, yeah, I know. It feels a little off-putting. It's very aggressive. I don't like it. I'm like, okay, I'm not for you, I guess.
But like years ago, with the beginning of the commercials that they were showing the pads with blood, it was illegal, literally, to show red. It was blue.
Yeah.
Yes, remember that.
Yeah. To the point that people obviously knowing, but no female, but they were like, oh, that the flow is blue. It's not blue. Has never been. But
yeah, it was only last year that they started testing menstrual products with actual blood or viscous, like it's always been tested with saline solution that has zero to do what menstrual blood consistency is like. But it was only last year that they started finally testing things with non-saline solution version of fluids. So yeah, it's amazing how much we have been insulated from our feelings and that. Yeah. It's a perfect opportunity for a little bit of subject change, because I'm very curious on how you are taking care of yourself. Do you have non-negotiables in your day-to-day for self-care?
Yes. And I would say yes, but since I am here in visiting my mom, I'm in her studio. I'm like, I have not done it, my non-negotiable in these last 2 weeks, but to me it's exercising. That is my must. I need to exercise. How long, how hard, how that can vary depending of what the circumstances are. But I do feel that exercising just helps me to maintain myself active, mentally active as well. It just makes me, I feel better with myself when I exercise. No, yeah, duh, right? But
No, I get it. When I quit dancing, I was like, I don't want anything to do with working out or a gym ever again. And then just the anxiety of living in our culture the last few years has gotten more. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should start doing yoga or something again, just to deal with the mental anxiety of living in our culture currently. It helps so much for just my mental health in the day that it's not even necessarily, it's nice to feel a little bit stronger, a little bit more flexible again, but just that mental clarity that comes has been lovely.
Yeah, for me, it's just moving, exercising is something that helps me a lot. And then as I mentioned before, I'm a believer. So I think the spiritual side, I try to as well take care of myself spiritually speaking. So those are things that I value a lot in my life. And those are, I would say, the non-negotiables.
I love that. Our last question before the fun lightning round. We're so curious because you are in it. Where do you see the future of film and women's health? Whether that's commercials, movies, your show, crossing fingers, where do you see this intersection between film and women's health?
I'm going to be optimistic. I am optimistic in this regard. To me, even though I mentioned before the show that I was working on and we were working on to try to get it to the big screen, we would say, didn't go through yet, but it went to a point pretty far. I was like, as I mentioned before, the first meeting was like moving on. And then after a year and a half, there were already people that, hey, you know what? I have people that are interested to talking about that. Okay, that's a new step forward. And then we went to bigger networks that were interested. And as I said, probably we need the players, other kind of players to be able to take it to the final push. But still, I do believe and think and see that more is being shared, more is being made, and there are more ideas, more thinkers, more women willing to talk about. And again, whether you have a period, you don't have your period because stopped, or whatever your circumstances are, but we can talk about it. And to me, it is important to know and to share that we are not the same. We are not in the same box, and that whatever you feel you are, that you are free to express it, that you are free to talk about it, and you don't have to hide it. Whether it's a tampon, whether it's a period, whether it's your pain, whether it's you're not mentally fine this today or this week, and I need to lean on someone, and next month someone will lean on me, and that's fine. We are here for that. So I see specifically in terms of film that there are more female in the industry. And that I think is a step also forward because other topics are being touched and being portrayed through different kinds of content, whether it's commercial branded content, film, documentary, whatever, that we see more and more women being expressing, creating and expressing female topics through their work. And so I'm very optimistic. And I'm also very grateful that together with that, because I also, and I don't know if I do well or not, but I link it along with also mental health. And I'm also very grateful that this topic is being talked as well and is being more open for people to find resources. And there are resources that are through professionals, and there are also resources that we can learn ourselves and that we didn't know. We don't need to always go to the professional, which sometimes we do need, and that's completely fine, and we should. But other times that we can learn tools that can help.
Inspired.
So,
Yes, I'm inspired.
Yeah, I find that very inspiring. So, shall we lightning round it?
Yes.
All right. So, before we start, tell us where people can find the short film, find more about you, anything that you want to share with our listeners.
I would just give my website, Raquel, Raquel, Raquel Marvez. That's my last name, MAR, V as in Victor, E as in elephant, and Z as in zebra, Raquel Marvez, and then .com. That's my website.
Perfect. We'll put it in the show notes as well. So if you're listening, you can cruise down into the show notes and click on it.
Thank you. And you can find our flow over there. Yeah.
It's so good. Everyone listening, go watch. It's such a beautiful short film. I cannot recommend it enough. So if you're
You
listening,
can tell me if the blood is too much or not. Both.
We'll do a poll.
we'll do a poll.
Oh dear.
No, I love it. I think it's fantastic. So I'm in. I'm yay vote over here already.
Ditto.
Thank you.
All right, Katie, do you want to kick us off?
Yes. To get to know you a little bit better, we're just going to ask you some quick questions. Go with your gut, your first instinct. Don't overthink, and we'll have fun with this. So everyone can get to know you a little bit more.
Okay.
All right. So our first question is, what's your biggest craving?
Ice cream. Chocolate or ice cream. Yeah, either way.
Okay, second question. Do you eat the ice cream or do you try to find a healthy alternative?
No, I eat the ice cream.
What's your favorite way to move your body?
Zumba.
Gosh, that's so fun. I haven't thought about that in ages, but that was so fun. What's the number one self-care go-to when you're just super stressed out?
Exercising.
Yeah.
Spinning is also, I love it.
What music do you listen to when you're working?
Latino pop is what I like. And also Latino, yes.
They got the beats.
I love dancing. Anything that gives me.
You can like dance in your chair.
Oh, what is your favorite country or place that you visited?
It's so hard.
I know.
I just came from Paris, so I'm from France, Paris. I'm going to name that because I was very impressed and I loved it. I don't know if that's the day one, but it's the most recent anyway.
I have a friend I think you would absolutely jam with in Paris. If you ever go back, let me know because I think the two of you would get along fabulously.
I will go again for the croissants and for everything else. It was really good.
They have amazing food. What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas, I would say.
Is there any food that you hate?
Yeah, too many probably my mom will say, but mushrooms.
Fair enough.
Pumpkin spice, yay or nay?
Yeah, yay.
Yeah. Do you cook?
Yes.
Your favorite place to work?
To work. Well, I would say on the field, I like, because as a director, we do part on the computer at home, and when we work on set, that is where I feel comfortable. Yeah. On set with people. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the real energy and the creative vibe is going there. I get that.
Yeah.
What's your ideal Friday night?
A date with my husband.
No.
Maybe because I need one. A date, just a place where I can dress up a little bit, feel good, and just talk. It doesn't have to be too posh or anything like that, but it's just spending quality time with my husband. I love it. So that's what we do.
That's very lovely. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. So much for sharing everything. This was fascinating. The journey, the ups and downs. It was just super incredible. And yeah, once again, if you haven't seen the film, go Our Flow and watch it. It's just absolutely beautiful and incredible. And just remember, I'm just seething with jealousy at how amazing it was.
So thank you very much, Katie and Stasha. Thank you for this opportunity. This is the first time that we see each other face to face, and I'm so glad to have face, and now we can be in touch. So it was a pleasure.
So good. Thank you so much for being here. For everyone listening, thank you for all of your support and love. Go check it out. Go leave some good vibes, good reviews, and we'll see everyone in our next episode. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. See ya.
A big shout out and thank you to our sponsors for today's episode, Period Coaching School and Katie Bresek Wellness.
Thanks to you, our favorite bestie, for listening to the Period Besties Podcast, where no topic is TMI. And of course, share this episode with your besties.
Remember to leave us a 5-star review. Nothing less than the best for us besties. and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can follow us on Instagram at Stasha Washburn and at Katie Bresak, or email us at periodbestiespodcast@gmail.com.
Check out more about us at katiebresak.com and periodcoachingschool.com. And of course, check the show notes for free goodies and extras that support this episode.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye for now, besties.